Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 453. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate!
A surprise welcome back. I don't think anybody knew, but look at people joining in live. Look at that.
Shout out.
Back-to-back days?
Back-to-back days, emergency pod, bonus pod. Well, I mean, it's episode 453.
It's a real pod, yeah.
It's a real pod. It's not a bonus pod, but...
Yeah. I personally feel better. I feel glad that this is happening. I did not bring the juice yesterday, so I want to apologize to everybody. I was rocking like 4 hours of sleep. I think I talked about Robbie Ray still being on the Mariners. I was all
You
over
did.
yeah.
That actually, was that last episode or the episode before?
I don't know. It's been one big lack of sleep.
I think that was 2 episodes ago, and somebody called you out and said a little bit of an oopsie on the Robbie Ray on the Mariners thing. He's with the Giants.
Well, you know, he pitches like 30 innings a year now, so I just forgot, you know.
Well, not that we were going to talk about Robbie Ray on this episode, but did have
Ricochet.
He had an excellent season debut, so I think an apology is in order, but I don't
apologize to nobody.
I'll leave that to you and yours. All right, the plan here, we say this a lot and it never happens. The plan is to keep this somewhat relatively short, just to get you a little Dylan Cease no-hitter talk in before the weekend. So if you're listening to this right now, after the fact, if you're not with us in the live, if you're listening to this after the fact, you can probably look down at the timestamp and see how we did. Let us know. How did we do from the future? Tell us how we did. Who's to really say if we're going to be able to keep this thing short or not? That's the plan. Just sneak in a little pod right before the weekend. We'll see how we do. Dylan Cease no-hitter. I texted you when this happened. Well, actually, I texted you after the Mason Miller injury update came through, and I was like, something to the effect of like classic major news happening the day after we record. And not to mention,
it's that time of year. Yeah.
It was a day after we recorded heading into a weekend, which always sucks because it's like, if this would have happened on Monday,
wait till Monday, you know what I mean?
Right. Like if we would have recorded Sunday and this happens Monday, it's like, all right, we'll get to it Wednesday. But when you record Wednesday and it happens Thursday and you got to wait till Sunday,
no one wants that.
Nobody wants to start their week looking that far back, regardless how big the event is. Even if something as big as a no-hitter, they're going to be like, we've already listened to our podcasts and other takes on these things. So we don't really care what you have to say. So we got ahead of the curve here and said, we're going to give it to you day of. Bingo. How about that? It's been
6 hours?
4 to 6 hours, maybe 5 hours since it happened. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah. But let's talk about it. Dylan Cease, no-hitter. The second no-hitter of the year, the first Padres no-hitter since Joe Musgrove back in 2021. There was this was an interesting no-hitter. I'm not going to lie. Like there were some things at play, some just funny baseball things that happened. There was those classic.
I'm going to be honest. I think your boy Bogart's almost
ruined
this thing twice.
I was just about to say there was those classic no hitter, like make you a little nervous type plays.
Yeah.
Pretty much solely fell on Xander Bogaerts, I think, like 2 or 3 times. So
yeah.
I'm glad he didn't cost him there. But the Luis Ariz thing I thought was funny because if you remember back in 2022, 2 seasons ago, I believe Cease came within 1 out of a no-hitter, and none other than Luis Ariz was the man to break it up, who is now his teammate. And I don't know if you saw it, but he actually gave him the ball after the fact, which I thought was cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that it had to happen in DC on a weekday.
Yeah, with like, I don't know, a few dozen people there.
Maybe 6 fans in the stands. Not really wild about that. But a no-hitter is a no-hitter. So I don't want to take anything away from him by any stretch, but not exactly the ideal setting,
Yeah. This is what it is. Like, I'll take it. I would take it. How about my guy? What was that? 94 pitches after 7?
That sounds right. He finished with 114.
I think he said in his interview the season high was 113, it's weird to me how much of like the season high plays into like, that's my ceiling for you know what I'm saying? Like that, I did it before this. You're like, what? Like, you've been in the big leagues for years. Like, I think it's okay if you go, oh no, my high was 102, but I went 117. Like, what? I hate the pitch count thing. I'm so over that. But overall, dope that he talked his way into it to stay.
Yeah, was there there was a conversation had between him and Schilt, correct?
I think he said in his interview, or at least Orsillo was like, hey, like there was like a hand, like a your day is done kind of handshake. So he talked his way into it, man. And I think it really helped. I don't know how much it helped. I'd like to be a fly on the wall if like having like Joe Musgrove in the dugout, kind of, just one other guy in there that's done it, especially for an organization that doesn't have them exactly stacked up. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They panned to Musgrove a handful of times, and it looked like homie was just keeping to his own.
Yeah, maybe.
I would imagine he probably understands. I mean, most people in the dugout probably understand that element to it, to just kind of keep to yourself for the time being. But I think I'm sure at points throughout the game, Musgrove was like, yo, like, let's dial it in here.
Yeah. And I know I'm in the minority here. I'm a Schilt guy. I liked Schilt in St. Louis. I thought it was silly that he got fired. He just seems like a brick wall kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like he's a very much player first kind of priority. So I love that. Any opportunity where a manager can almost throw the script away and just kind of feel the pulse of the game and feel out his guy. That's good. That's a good thing. So, job well done. Job well done by Schilt. A lot of sliders. I think I saw he threw like 60 sliders to like
a lot. Yeah, there was
40
a lot.
fastballs, something like that.
Finished with 9 strikeouts, so a fair amount of swing and miss throughout. I went back. I mean, I was a little busy with work today, so I wasn't able to catch the game in its entirety. As I would imagine, probably most people, whenever these types of things happen, it's usually like hey, let's tune in like the 7th or 8th, and then watch it from here on out, which is kind of where I was at. Yeah. But again, that's what most people do, because you see the notification pop up on the scoreboard, you get the text updates, that's just how these things happen. So I was kind of right there with everybody else, but from what I did see, did not seem to lose much life late in the game. I think was it in the 9th he hit 100 on his was it his 100th pitch? Somewhere right around that threshold.
It was a punch out, wasn't it?
Topped out at 100, I believe. Yeah. At some point there in the 9th. But yeah, job well done. I'm glad to see that speaking of Schilt, that he was able to kind of relinquish that a little bit, let him go, give him the leash to at least go out there and fight for that opportunity to earn that feat.
I think I think it was CJ Abrams that lined out for the final out, right? To right.
Yeah, that one made me a little nervous.
I think it made him nervous. You see his reaction the second alpha contact. He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah. And the
that was
ball.
a linea.
So what I was trying to remember why I was bringing up like my point about, oh, I tuned into the 7th. Because I did that, I had to go back and I went back and watched the full 27 outs thing, like I do for most of these no-hitter, perfect game type things. And I noticed earlier in the game that CJ Abrams also put a charge into one out to right, even like harder and further than the final out of the game. And I'm like, that one probably made him a little nervous. But at that point, I don't know if you're really thinking along those lines. So I'm sure the final out made him a little more nervous. But those, like we talked about, those Xander plays, man, I mean, yeesh.
The bobble in center field was crazy. That one was the weirdest one to me. And it is quite literally like the exact definition of like an outfielder being in the right spot and coming in on a ball when he should. Just a funky play there. The weird like glove side in the 3-5 hole, like just batted it around real quick, like had it in the transfer. Then that was weird, man. I don't. He still got some zip on it to get him out, and it was by like a half step.
All right, so let's play umpire here a little bit. That ball that he bobbled and ends up in Jackson Merrill's glove. Let's play devil's advocate here. Umpire's devil's advocate. If he bobbles that ball, let's say Jackson Merrill like lunges, he sees the ball in midair. Jackson tries to get a hand on it, like a bare hand or something, drops it. What do we? Because you got to remember. You got to remember, though, this year has been very, very peculiar in terms of scoring and rulings on hits and errors. So, like, do we think that ball would have been ruled a hit? If Xander he's going back for it, bobbles it a little bit. Maybe, like I said, Jackson maybe gets a finger on it or something in an effort to catch it barehanded, and it falls to the ground. Are they giving him a hit on that?
Yeah. In a brutal way to give that up. Brutal way. But I was thinking, like, imagine bang, bang play on the other Xander play at first and, like, called out on field, review to be safe. Like, imagine losing a no-hitter that way. That would suck.
That play that you're referring to, that's a heck of a play, though. Like, I watched it back a few times, and maybe if you're watching it live, you go, oh, like, that's a great recovery. But, like, no, if you actually go back and look,
that's not easy to do.
That the transfer or basically just like being able to get a hand on the ball in a position to throw it and beat him by a step, that is a very difficult thing to do. And you have to imagine that there's a degree of luck at play there, because
a little bit,
like, if that ball is off by like a degree, that bounces off his thumb and rolls to the foul line, like, or whichever direction it was going. But and that's what we talk about with these no hitters. There's always something.
You gotta have one or two weird things.
You gotta have one or two plays that are a little dicey.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my guy Xander was at the center of both of them.
Yeah. But he hung on, man. It happened. We're good. You know,
we're in the clear.
I felt super. Oh, okay, keep going.
No, go ahead. I just had some. I
thought it was hilarious that Patrick Corbin actually diced like one of his like best starts.
All right,
I think he went 7 innings with like 7 punches. Like that's such a good start for him. And of course, it takes a no-hitter to just wash it away.
Okay. Well, it's funny you brought that up. Hold on. I need to confirm here. Hold on. I got to tread lightly here. Hold on.
What do you got?
Hold on. What was the date of... Okay. We are not going to get political on this podcast, but I need to say something because it's too funny. Not funny. Funny is not the right word. It's too
coincidental. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's too interesting to ignore. I'll say that.
Okay.
July 13th, the date of the assassination attempt on President Donald Trump. Patrick Corbin,
Diced.
widely known Trump supporter. The memes were flying around. They said, we're going to see a second half from Patrick Corbin like we've never seen before. He's going to become the best pitcher in baseball. Yeah. That was July 13th. In his 2 starts since that day, July 19th, 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed, 6 punchies for 21 fantasy points. I'm just mentioning this because I pulled it up on fantasy. And then today, 7 innings, only 3 earned runs allowed, 7 Ks for 13 fantasy points. We haven't seen that from Patrick Corbin since a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's kind of what we're dealing with here over there with Patrick Corbin. Look, like I said, I'm not getting political. You mentioned the name. He pitched well today, pitched well in his last start. I had to mention it. Back to Dylan Cease, though, the man who threw the no-hitter. According to MLB StatMuse, a tool that you and I very much appreciate and use frequently, Dylan Cease is the first pitcher to record 6+ innings pitched, 0 or 1 hits allowed, 0 runs allowed, 9+ strikeouts in 3 straight starts. I can say I'll read that for you again.
We'll do it one more time.
All right. So in 3 straight starts, for the first time in MLB history, Dylan Cease is the first pitcher to record 6+ innings pitched, 0 or 1 hits allowed, 0 runs allowed, with 9+ strikeouts.
In each one? 9 punches in each one?
3 straight starts.
Wow.
First in history. Codify, the other account that we like.
I'm going to go with Codify. I think we should just stick to that.
Codify. A complete list of every pitcher in MLB history to have a 3-start run with 25+ strikeouts and only 2 hits allowed. Dylan Cease. 30 strikeouts, 2 hits. That's the list.
Good month of July, some would say. That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
I'm really psyched that I traded him in fantasy like a couple months ago.
Same.
I'm really not regretting that decision at all. I'm glad I did.
Same.
Really glad I did. Any other thoughts on the no-hitter? Like I said, I want to keep us somewhat brief here. I don't want to let our last pod for the weekend drag on.
I liked all of it. I liked it. Very good. Cool for. I mean, one could argue it's pretty cool that it happened on a Thursday afternoon game. You know, because it's like
I'm not arguing that.
You never know when stuff's gonna happen. So just because it's a Thursday, tap in still. You know what I mean? Just because there's only a couple teams playing.
No, I'm gonna need you to convince me a little. Present a more convincing argument for why I should be excited that it happened on a Thursday afternoon in front of 12 people. Because I'm not buying it.
Because you should watch. That's why. Because you never know. Be equipped. Be prepared. You never know.
No, like for once, it'd be nice to see. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a no-hitter that happened in front of like a sellout crowd at home? It happened on the road on getaway day in front of 6 people.
It's baseball season.
Believe me, I get it. But sometimes baseball lets us down a little bit.
I mean, maybe you should be barking. Maybe I should be barking at you. You live in the area. You could have gone. Take a day off from work.
I couldn't.
Go catch a C start.
I couldn't. I had to be a chaperone. We went on a little food tour in Richmond today. It was kind of nice. I was stuffing my face with local eats, and I just happened to look down. Oh, there's the no-hitter update. I should maybe tune in, and then I had to watch the rest of it on the bus ride home. We had New Zealand meat pies. Excellent, by the way.
It doesn't sound good.
It was great. It was great. It was like a giant quiche almost, but it was like a chicken pot pie. It was like a pie, but it had meat in it.
It was handheld?
It was pork. Yeah, you ate it like a sandwich almost. We had those. We had half-pound cookies. These things were huge, dude. If you're ever at a place that offers half-pound cookies, first of all, get one. But second of all,
have some
break it up
on you. Yeah.
Break it up into 2 sittings because you're not going to want to eat that all at once. And
Did you?
I did, and it was a big mistake. And so I'm passing on the wisdom that I have since gained from that experience to the rest of you. And then our next stop, we got some local pizza. I was told it was the best pizza in the city, and it was like, is there a Costco around? Because if there is, then Costco automatically has the best pizza in the city. Because this, I don't know if this is it. And then our last stop, Chad says, if anyone is offering any cookie, you take it with a smile. Oh, I took it with a smile, Chad. Believe me. Yeah. Believe me. But it was the aftermath of it that I regretted a little bit. Honestly, I think I'm still feeling a little bit. Like
you're not a kid anymore, you know?
My Kyle's tummy ain't doing, it's not too happy right now.
Yeah.
And then our final stop was at a little taco spot and had a taco or two there. So that was our food tour. And it was all covered. It was great. I didn't have to spend a dime. It was excellent.
Some would say you climbed a bigger mountain than Dylan sees today. Some would say.
It's being said.
Yeah.
You're saying it.
Around the local Richmond, I heard a lot of locals are starting to tweet
a lot of locals. I heard some grumblings from like around the corner. I didn't want to follow up and ask because I didn't want to make it about me, but I did hear it. So
just going down to Richmond, breaking records.
I mean, I think you're right on it, man. I put up a better performance than Dylan Cease did today. Nobody's asking how I'm feeling after the fact, but whatever. Yeah.
Get Meredith to get the Gatorade shower ready.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need a trophy. It's just another day's work for me, you know?
You know, just doing the honest work, you know?
Just doing the honest work. Murray says, should have taken you to a taco spot. We got some good tacos out there in LA, I will say. Shout out Murray. Some excellent tacos out there in LA. I've experienced it firsthand, and I tell you what, it's better than what we've got out here in good old Northern Virginia. I can promise you that.
I believe that.
Let's talk about this Mason Miller injury. A cover-up if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, thank you.
What are we doing here, Martin Gallegos? I mean, look, I get it. I take that back. You're doing your job. This is on presumably the Oakland A's here. Martin Gallegos with excellent, as Nate's over here doing hand exercises to see how he could quite possibly awkwardly place a hand on a table and fracture it.
A padded table.
How you could do that, I don't know. Martin Gallegos, with the journalistic integrity that I presume that he has, initially comes out and tweets. Also, I love how we were talking about possibly making this a 30-minute episode. We're already 25
We're already
minutes
there.
We talked more about, I think we talked more about
a
half-pound cookies than we did a no-hitter. Anyway, Martin Gallegos tweets, per source, A's will place all-star closer Mason Miller on the injured list today with a fracture of the 5th metacarpal, which is your pinky, in his left hand. Note, his non-pitching hand. Says it's a non-pitching injury he suffered after pounding a padded training room table in frustration following Monday night's win. Hours later, he comes out and says, deletes the initial tweet, and then comes out and says, important clarification on Mason Miller injury. He did not pound the table out of frustration. He put his hand down awkwardly on the training table while getting ready to do an exercise. Who's fracturing their pinky placing their hand down on a padded training table.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
This is, like I said, this is a cover-up if I've ever seen one.
Where did it go? I got super confused because I was at work and I got the Bleacher Report like headline where it was like Mason Miller broken hand IL, like, and it was like all caps, like on table or something like that. And I was like, are you saying he's still on the table for being traded because he's on the IL? Like, what am I reading here?
What
So
are these words?
I open it up and I'm like, what? How do you place your hand awkwardly? Not buying it. Not buying it. Something's off here. Something's fishy.
I mean, my whole thing is like, what difference does it make? The whole
Yeah,
purpose.
your finger's still broken. You're still not getting traded, and you're still on the IL.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, this does not change the fact that this screws up any and all plans that they had of possibly maybe shipping him out for what I can only imagine would be quite the haul. That it doesn't matter if he placed it down awkwardly, if he placed it down not awkwardly. It's still fractured. It doesn't matter if he was quote pounding a padded training room table or if he did it wiping his butt. It doesn't matter.
Been there.
It's a fractured pinky. And the reality is you can't trade him, even if you wanted to. So why come out with the cover up? Because you can't tell a pitcher punching anything, an inanimate object, is far more believable to me than a pitcher awkwardly placing their hand on a padded table and fracturing it. So what's with the cover up? What
Getting
difference
ready to
does
do
it
an
make?
Exercise. What kind of exercise is he about to do?
I partially part of me doesn't even want to ask because
there's no shot. There's no shot. I've broken my metacarpal. I've broken the fourth one. This guy here. That has to be jammed very hard.
No.
Or
I don't even like thinking about it. I don't even like thinking
direct
about
on
it.
the knuckle.
No.
I had a boxer's fracture, so mine broke right here. That's
Nope.
where the metacarpal is. It's not up here. It's in the hand. So to do that, like there's no like if you do this way, it's like it dislocates. You see like that video of Kobe where you got it dislocated and they just like pull it back in and he goes back in playing. You see like football players do that stuff. The metacarpal has to be like jammed. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way for the metacarpal to break unless there's like a hard impact. You're not placing it on a table and then like falling or something like that. Like that would be this part. The metacarpal had to have been damaged by like force. I'm not buying it.
Like if you're the Oakland A's, you legitimately want me to believe that a closer who closers are notoriously just like, angry maybe isn't the right word. Maybe just like a little bit of a screw loose, but sometimes
different.
More often than not in a good way. They got like a little bit of a screw loose, but in a way that gives them a competitive edge. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that I'm supposed to believe that he didn't channel that and punch a training table out of frustration and instead just gently place his hand down? No, I'm not buying
Here's what I'm thinking. My man tried to go the smart move. He tried to go glove hand, and he tried to go towards a padded area. Like, he tried to go about this the right way.
I saw a tweet today. It was something along the lines of, like, Mason Miller is like nobody we've ever seen. He even tries to, like, punch the table with his glove hand. He's like, Mason Miller's playing chess while we're all playing checkers.
It's true.
I mean, this is so. I mean, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here, but
Let's go one step further.
It's very clearly cover up.
Let's go one step further. and say, hey, we didn't get any offers we liked, but our fans and baseball is going to be really pissed if we don't trade you. So we need you to go punch that table with your glove hand. I've already slipped Gallegos Ryder a 20. He's going to recorrect his prior statement. Done. I knew it. I know exactly what's going on in Oakland.
Do you know what's going on with this Oakland A's ticket situation? Have you seen
saw
this?
that the last home game.
Gabriel Hernandez tweeted, John Fisher and David Cavall, you're insane for making Oakland fans pay $104 to sit in the third deck for the final A's home game. You're terrible human beings. And then includes a screenshot of the Oakland A's ticket website. That's important. This isn't like secondary market here. This isn't the like reselling market. This is Oakland A's website that's showing you this price. $104.20 for row 14, seat 14 in section 332.
People gonna pay it.
Oh, they absolutely are. But
yeah.
Like how greedy can you get? Like the amount of money that you're gonna make is so insignificant.
Drop in the bucket, yeah.
Insignificant that it's more insulting that you would bump up the price to this.
I don't know. See, the way
10,
I think
12x based on where you're at in the ballpark.
Like if someone's going there for the first time this year, you know what I'm saying? You go to 10 games a year, you go to 1 game. That's, you're going to make your money back somehow. Business is business.
No,
I'm just kidding. This is super scummy. But
no, you're right. Like business is business. Like when I first saw this, my immediate reaction was like, well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people wanting to go to that. I mean, you and I even kind of jokingly were like, "Oh, should we go to the last Oakland A's game?" Why are you giving me that look?
It's our last chance, bud.
You trying to pull us off? I don't know if I'm trying to go to Oakland, if I'm being quite honest.
You already got the fit.
I do. Well, I mean, I would probably wear that out there, but if I got there, I'd probably invest in one of those nice Kelly Green unis, if I'm being honest. No, but like what I'm saying is like plenty of people are presumably wanting to go to this game. I would imagine it's going to be a sellout. So like I understand. Stop. You're not convincing me to go to this stupid game.
We can stay with Murray and just drive down.
I'm not driving to Oakland from LA.
I have no idea how far that is.
Couldn't tell you how far that is.
Yeah, California's big.
Actually, let's just do this real quick. How far? Just out of curiosity.
There we go. Just get these.
Let's just go.
Wheels
Let's go.
Turning a little
Stop.
bit.
Let's go stadium to stadium. How far is Dodger Stadium from Oakland Coliseum?
How far is Murray's address?
No, I'm not driving 6 hours. That's 370 miles.
Oakland A's road trip?
No, I'm not doing that. For the last game in Oakland, no, I'll pass. I'm good. No, but what I'm saying is like I get the business side of it. I really do. But like like you have a track record of screwing your fans over. So I don't really care about the business side of it here. Like if it was any other organization, maybe hiking the prices up, I'm like, that's business. That's business, Susan.
It's only 11 hours from here.
Stop. I'm not going. Yeah. So I'm not surprised, but like you said, it's still a scummy move, and it's embarrassing. It's just one more embarrassing move, and really one final kick to the gut, kick to the face, kick to whatever extremity,
pretty much
to Oakland A's fans. And look, I know I've gone on my own rants about like where were Oakland A's fans when they were making the postseason, and now they're sad that the team is leaving. It's like, well, maybe you should have been there when they were actually in the playoffs, but you weren't during those seasons or the seasons after the fact. So I take it with a grain of salt. But this is still like, regardless how you feel about that, about attendance figures from seasons prior, this is just a scummy move. And
I think it's kind of funny, personally.
it is what it is. I don't know.
We're heading to Oakland.
No, we're not heading to Oakland. But speaking of LA, Clayton Kershaw made his return today. His 2024 debut, went 4 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks on 72 pitches. Honestly,
sounds like a normal Kershaw start. No,
yeah. And what I was gonna say is, like, this may not be all that important to the average person, but the thing that sticks out to me for Kershaw and his return is the 72 pitches. Like, I feel like for your first start of the year, that's a decent place to be, and I would hope that I hope the plan is, given that he's had the first half of the season away, I would hope that they would be able to stretch him out a little bit and let him eat a little bit as we come down the stretch here. Because everybody loves watching Kershaw throw. I mean, who doesn't?
What do you think? Like 85, 90, next one out, and then it's
get him up to 85, and then maybe another one right around there, and then from that point, like fourth, fifth, sixth start, whatever, or however many he gets, let it eat.
They just don't really have the luxury of they need him. The rotation needs him. So, and he's a Hall of Famer. Like, as much as Dodgers fans or baseball fans want to dog on him, he can still do his thing. Kersh.
I'm about it. Really wasn't much to say on it. I just wanted to mention it because I was hoping to touch on it next episode, but it literally already happened today. So why not mention it? Another thing we got today, Garrett Crochet, a little bit of an update there. A little bit of a Josh Hader-esque stance being taken here from Garrett Crochet. According to Alden Gonzalez, he tweeted, "Massive deadline-related development. In case you missed it, Garrett Crochet's reps have told teams he will not pitch in the playoffs without an extension, and he prefers not to go to the bullpen."
I don't like this. Who do you think you are, first off? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're having a good year. You have plenty of talent. Are you Max Scherzer suddenly? Who do you think you are calling these kinds of shots? I get the bullpen thing. I think
that I can understand. Like, I think to this point, you've earned your stay in the rotation wherever you end up. I believe that.
Yeah. You've pitched 184 innings in your big league career. Who were you to call shots like that? I don't understand. And I'm going to go look up contract-wise because I'm pretty sure he's still under control. He's still in ARB years, isn't he? Yeah. He's got 2 more years of arbitration left. He's not even a free agent until 2027. Who are you? I don't like this at all. Like, I'm extremely turned off if I'm a GM. Like, I don't want this already coming through the door. You haven't even, to make a demand like that. In reality, like, I haven't seen a demand like that out of like a future Hall of Famer, out of like a established veteran, much less a guy starting games for the first year in his career. what are we talking in an era now where we're so hyper focused on pitch count and inning count and longevity, or at least trying to hold on to longevity and health? I get the bullpen thing. And I don't know if it's this tweet or reports that are making it sound so demanding. These aren't his words specifically. Maybe it's quoted better. Maybe he's saying, hey, like, I'd prefer to stay a starter. But if I'm in a freaking White Sox uniform and I'm a part of one of the worst seasons ever, I think my words are going to be, I'm down to get out of here wherever, and I'm down to do whatever you need me to do to go win a ring. Those are my comments. You have done nothing. You've done nothing. You've done pretty well for a team that no one's watching, with no pressure on you. That's it. And the only reason you're allowed to say this stuff is because of the market just being absolutely zero. There's no other starting pitchers out there at this caliber. So I hate this. And I'm already turned off. I don't, again, he could have said this differently. He could have, his quotes, his direct quotes could be different. I don't know. But these reports and these tweets about these demands are, I'm all set. Thank you, though. I'm going to add you to my winning clubhouse, my winning team, my team going to get a trophy, and you're going to tell me the demands. I'm saving you from a dumpster fire. I'm saving you from the Titanic. You're going to do what I tell you to do. I'm pretty tired of players just having this level of entitlement when you've done nothing to prove it. This is nothing. You've pitched a half a season.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I don't really have much to add on to that. I'm kind of right there with you. I just think it's silly when, like you said, you look at the body of work that he's compiled over the course of his career. It's really not much of a career yet. Like he's been here for a little while, but certainly not long enough to be making any sort of demands. That's the reality of it.
It shoots your future team in the foot. It shoots your current team in the foot. The whole point of the attraction is how cheap you are for the quality that you're providing. You are cheap because you're still under arbitration years. That's half the value of what the White Sox are holding in their hand. So for you to put this out there, it diminishes, it hurts the White Sox, which I don't think he really cares about.
When you say, I'm trying to track, when you say cheap, what do you?
Well, I mean, because he's in arbitration, he's worth, a 1 year league minimum. And if he wants to go to court or have an offer, I mean, I maybe he's trying to avoid arbitration hearings. Like, I don't see the whole point of sitting here and saying, I haven't even completed this year yet, but I'm a frontline starter and I'm ready for an extension. No.
I see.
Like, the whole point of this is he's under control and he's cheaper than forking over, a $20 to $25 million commitment. He may get 18, 20 in an arbitration hearing. I don't know. There may be a settlement offer. It all really depends, but like, it's a part of the value. I'm not trading for you to then buy out 2 years of your cheapest part of your career. I'm buying you out to take advantage of that, and then I'll extend you if we're in a good spot. It's just weird. It's just weird. And I think it lessens the value because, like, it's I don't know. I think it kind of eliminates certain teams, if you could argue.
Speaking of trades, let's sort of wrap up here with a trade that you think will happen by next episode. And for those who are unfamiliar, for us, that will be Sunday.
Sunday.
So essentially over the weekend, what's a trade that you see happening this weekend ahead of Tuesday's deadline?
Am I going first? You going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
This is rather bold. Just because I don't know. I don't know if the trigger finger is quite this happy for my Red Sox, but I really, really like the fit. I like the move, and I think it would do wonders for vibes in that clubhouse. Nate Eovaldi coming back home. Nate Eovaldi coming back home.
Was literally that was mine. That was mine.
He had him pulled up. You're telling. Wait. So you told me. Okay. For those of you wondering, like why I'm reacting this way. Before we started this episode, Nate goes, "I've actually been cooking one up that I haven't really seen on social media yet."
I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't follow the Red Sox the way you follow, but I haven't seen that.
No, for sure. But it's just funny because I dropped that. And then Nate obviously is like, well, that's mine. That's why I reacted that way.
I mean, I had the same thing. I had it pulled up because I was looking at his contract. He has a vesting option for next year. And I was looking up, like, I don't know if the vesting part of it is tradable necessarily. But it was saying it's a $2 million player option if he does 300 innings across 2023.
That's right. I remember.
I looked this up.
I looked this up recently,
and so I was looking at his innings. That's why I was on his BR page.
Yeah.
And he's at like 250. Yeah, he's at 250 right now. So 50 more innings, and he crosses that threshold. So I don't know if that's like a thing. Yeah, that was my trade idea. Well, I mean, what's your reasoning behind it? I'll give you mine and tell me if I'm crazy here. Tell me if I'm like that far off. I just felt like the Red Sox may not be able to do a ton at the deadline. And I don't know if there's like you could speak to this better than I can, but I think that there's a few holes that they probably won't be able to address. And so this is almost like a splashy enough name that the fan base can get around and be excited about, but at the same time adds like an oomph, adds like a spark, adds like
it's a morale boost.
Big morale boost. It's, he's a Cora guy, he's a Red Sox guy, he's a fan guy, he's had postseason success. Like it almost like checks boxes that no other player could. So that's why I had that in my head. Am I close? Is that about?
Yeah, no, like for me, you need a starter, like you need pitching help. I mean, yeah, you need some pen help, but based on the starting pitch, like we already talked about, the market is lacking a little bit right now. And I think that this is right in the Red Sox wheelhouse right now, where we just talked about it. You went out and extended Alex Cora. You've made it clear that you are going to get serious about this team. If you're the front office in Boston, you've made it clear that you are, by bringing Alex Cora back, the conversation had to have taken place with him in that some promise had to be made of like, we are going to get serious about this team. This is a way to do that because we know that even though they may want to get serious about the team, they're not going to go crazy at the trade deadline. Like they're not going out and getting Tarek Skubal. They're not going to trade for Garrett Crochet. But this is like right there in that wheelhouse of them. If they are in fact serious about this team and they want to implement that mindset right away at this deadline, like forget waiting until the offseason. If you want to get things started off on the right foot with Alex Cora now extended, go out and get a guy like Nate Eovaldi, who, like you said, fan guy, Cora guy, just a Red Sox guy. He's going to bring you value. He's going to help out that rotation. He's going to eat innings. And then it gives you still a little bit of you're not putting all your eggs in the basket of going out and getting a guy like Skubal or Crochet. It gives you still a little bit of flexibility to go out and get a guy that you can supplement the lineup with, because I think they need a power bat in there to supplement the offense a little bit. But this just makes sense to me. I don't know. It just makes sense.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Did you have like any idea when I said that?
No, I wouldn't have expected you to pick a Red Sox trade for like your one trade.
It just came to my head like a week and a half ago, because I'm just like, I think there's only so much the Red Sox can do. I think it's like, are they willing to go towards those bigger names that a lot of these other, I won't say more ready teams, but like, I think a bigger contender, like a Dodgers or Orioles, like, are they going to be able to do what those teams are going to do, So, yeah, that's wild. All right, well, I'm going to try to come up with something on the fly here.
You don't have to. We talked a little bit longer on the Eovaldi thing. You don't need to come up with anything on the fly.
Whoa. Little guy. Diamondbacks are acquiring AJ Puck from the Marlins.
That does
little guy.
That does less than nothing for me.
I just saw passing breaking news, so I had to.
Oh gosh!
I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Well, give me. Give me Tanner Scott to the Orioles before the weekend's over. I think this. It's just funny. Like, I think Craig Kimbrell just blew a save to the Marlins today. You're already in Miami, so make that happen.
I like that.
That's off the cuff, but he's going. He's going.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
he's going somewhere.
Jazz is going somewhere.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of where.
Yeah.
Wrapping up here. I love how we said short episode. Knew that wasn't going to happen.
Normal.
I mean, we're pushing an hour, so that's cool. Wrapping up for good here, though, with the details of our wager.
Oh yeah.
If you listened to last episode, I think we close out with speculating on what it could be.
Yeah.
So the deal, the
don't say the specifics. Say.
Yeah. No. I was just going to lay out the details of. If you haven't listened to last episode, well, first of all, go listen to last episode, get caught up. But as a reminder, we are going to be making a friendly wager here between the last two remaining series between the Yankees and Red Sox, the first of which is happening this weekend, starting Friday through Sunday. And then I think they meet again in September towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Four game set then.
4 game set. So 7 games total. So this bet is going to be stretched out over the course of the remainder of the season. So it'll be fun to have to wait it out a little bit. But we have decided the wager. We decided before we hopped on. We kind of talked through some things. You don't want me to reveal the details, but like how far? I'll let you say it, because you clearly have an idea in your mind of like how far you want me to let on about the details.
Yeah, I just there's a T-shirt that's gonna be involved. There's a couple T-shirts that
there's one of 2 T-shirts.
Yeah, that
will be designed, will be created.
Yep.
That the loser is going to have to wear.
Yep, and it's for 10 episodes. 10 episodes before opening day of next year, with the 10th episode being right around that area. Maybe we still got to figure those details out. I don't know. I mean, you were worried about it being on the hot takes episode, but I think that'd be pretty fire if it was.
It's gonna have to be 10 episodes of the winner's choice during the off season up until opening day.
Yeah, because obviously with the series not being finished until the end of September, we got to order the shirt because we're making it. It's custom. And then we got the postseason. It's going to be tough. So most likely going to be all off-season stuff. But let's just say it's not, either way, it's not a desirable piece of attire.
No, it's definitely not. It's going to make for some good laughs. But do we want to include the other bit about it?
Oh, yeah. So the loser is 100% going to be a donor to the other team's foundation, charitable foundation. So just to put it out there of like, hey, I am giving to the Red Sox or you are giving to the Yankees, which just kind of stings a little bit in its own way.
Yeah, but it's for a good. It'll be
positive
good for a
way.
good cause. Yeah, something good will come out of this. In addition to the laughs that I'm sure that that are coming for the loser from the people. So looking forward to that. It all starts this weekend, Friday night.
Should we have like a bonus? Any kind of bonus? You know?
Bonus.
No, if there's like a sweep or something like that, it's like a kicker. You know what I mean?
I mean, we could up the episodes that you got to wear it for.
Could go screensaver. Like of the whatever Photoshop that we're doing, that has to be the screensaver on the other guy's phone. That could be tough.
Absolutely
That
not
could be
doing
tough.
that.
I can't wait for people to see what the t-shirts are going to look like.
Cook up. What I cook up.
Wow. So big weekend.
Dude, I'm not trying to have a screensaver pop up in church and then they'd be like, my brother, what is that?
Well, everyone in church is obviously listening to the podcast. So,
Of course.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Depending upon who you want to see win or lose that bet, be sure to pull for the respective club this weekend. Send some good vibes, send some good some mojo.
I could say both of our teams need it. Both of our teams need it.
One a little more than the other.
I don't know. We both are.
Yours. We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Sure.
We're doing okay. That'll do it. Another short episode in the books.
Good stuff.
That was fun.
Brought the juice. Enjoy the trade deadline. Buckle up for Sundays / Mondays episode because I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about there. So, you guys are awesome. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.